Rain slicked the streets of Los Angeles as Magic Johnson stepped out of his black SUV and pulled his hoodie over his head. It was just after 10 p.m., and the restaurant was supposed to be closed, lights dimmed, kitchen cleaned, doors locked. But a light glowed faintly inside the back hallway, and that's what made him pause. This wasn't supposed to be a visit. No cameras, no PR team. Just him in sweats, sneakers, and a baseball cap tugged low. He wanted to feel the place, the energy, the people, to understand if the heartbeat of the restaurant still matched his own. He pushed open the side entrance. No alarm went off, he still had the code. The air inside was thick with the scent of lemon cleanser and rosemary. Silence stretched across the darkened dining room, broken only by the faintest sound from the kitchen corridor. A sob. Magic froze. It was muffled, but unmistakable. Someone crying. Deep, guttural. The kind of cry that didn't care who heard. He stepped lightly across the tiled floor, following the sound. It led to the employee locker room tucked behind the pantry. The door was slightly ajar, and inside someone sat slouched on the bench, face buried in his hands, shoulders trembling. A young man, maybe early 20s, skinny, wearing a server's uniform. Magic leaned on the doorframe. "You all right, man?" The guy jerked his head up, eyes puffy and red. For a second, he just stared. Then his face contorted, not in recognition, but embarrassment. Sorry, I didn't know anyone was here. I'll go." "You don't have to go," Magic said, stepping inside slowly. "You just off your shift?" The guy nodded. "Yeah, I was just sitting for a second." Magic didn't press. He sat on the opposite bench, let the silence speak. The server wiped his face with the hem of his apron. "It's stupid, I know I shouldn't cry at work. My mom got evicted this morning. She's staying with my aunt now, and I couldn't send her anything because my check's short. Rent's due. Tips were trash this week. I tried to pick up another shift, but Dante said he's full." "Dante?" Magic asked. "The shift manager." Magic nodded slowly. He recognized the name but hadn't met him yet. He looked at the young man again. There was something painfully familiar in that defeated posture, like the look he used to see in kids back in Lansing, wondering if anyone even noticed they were drowning. "What's your name?" Magic asked. "Jordan." Magic almost smiled. "Jordan? That's gotta be tough." Jordan cracked a tiny grin. "Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many Michael jokes I get." "I might," Magic said. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out his phone. "How long you been working here, Jordan?" "6 months, I like it. Food's good. People are mostly cool, but sometimes it just feels like no matter how hard I work, I'm still falling behind, you know?" Magic nodded slowly. "Yeah, I know." Jordan's brow furrowed as he looked closer at the man across from him. "Wait a second," Magic met his eyes. "Yeah, no way." Jordan stood up. "Magic Johnson? You're Magic Johnson?" "I used to be," Magic said with a chuckle. "Now I'm just the guy trying to make sure places like this matter." Jordan sat back down, still stunned. "Why are you here? At night?" "Same reason you are," Magic said. "I care." Outside, the rain tapped gently on the glass. Inside, something shifted. A small weight lifted. Neither man said another word for a long moment. If this moment moved you, take a second to subscribe. And if you've ever stayed late just to breathe for a moment, leave a comment below. We see you. The next morning, Dante unlocked the restaurant doors at 8 a.m. sharp. He yawned, clutching his to-go coffee, and barely noticed the sleek black SUV parked across the street. Inside, Magic Johnson sat quietly, watching as staff trickled in. He wasn't just checking up. He was watching how people moved, who showed up early, who talked over others, who cleaned when no one asked. Ownership wasn't about numbers anymore. It was about people. And last night shifted something. By 10 a.m., Magic slipped in through the side door again. This time he wasn't hiding. He waved to Tasha, the prep cook, and greeted Kenny, the dishwasher, like old friends. But he avoided Jordan for now. Dante stood at the pass, directing 2 servers where to put fresh menus. He looked up, did a double take, then forced a grin. "Magic!" Wasn't expecting you today, boss. I like to pop in unannounced, Magic said, keeping his voice even. Mind if I walk the floor with you? Course not, course not. Dante adjusted his collar. We've been running smooth, I promise. Magic just nodded. He didn't say anything when he watched Dante cut off a hostess mid-sentence, or when he brushed past a busboy without so much as a glance. But the tension in Magic's jaw said plenty. Jordan arrived for his lunch shift just before 11. His eyes widened when he spotted Magic near the front. He looked cleaner today, sharper, pressed shirt, tighter ponytail, like he'd put effort into something he didn't think anyone would notice. Magic noticed. "Jordan," he called out, motioning him over. "Got a second?" Dante's eyebrows raised, but he kept his mouth shut. Jordan crossed the floor quickly, nervous. "You feeling better?" Magic asked. Jordan nodded. "Yeah, thanks for yesterday." "No need to thank me, but I need something from you." Jordan straightened. "Anything. I want you to walk me through what it's like here. Not the menu, not the guests, the day-to-day. What's working?" "What's broken?" Jordan hesitated. "I don't want to get anyone in trouble." "You won't. Just tell me what you see." Jordan glanced around, lowered his voice. "I think people are scared to speak up. Dante runs the shifts tight, and if you ask for a change or say something's wrong, he just cuts your hours." Magic's face didn't move. "Has that happened to you?" Jordan looked down. "Last month. I told him the ice machine wasn't safe. It was leaking near the plugs. Next week I lost 2 shifts. Magic exhaled slowly. "Anyone else?" Jordan hesitated, then nodded. "Maria. She's been here for 2 years. Said something about food waste and got stuck on back of house for a week. And Terry, he said Dante yelled at him in the freezer when no one was around. Did he report it?" Jordan shook his head. "Who's going to believe the kid with a dish towel?" Magic nodded. "You got 5 minutes? I want to show you something." He led Jordan through the kitchen to the back office. Inside was a wall of photos. Chefs, hosts, servers, smiling with their families. Above it a plaque. "This place is ours because it's yours." Jordan stared at the wall. "I've never seen this before." "Not many have," Magic said, "but that's about to change." From the other room, Dante's voice echoed, loud and curt. Someone dropped a tray. Magic looked Jordan dead in the eye. "How do you think it should be?" Jordan didn't even hesitate. "Respect. That's it. Just respect." Magic nodded. "Good answer." As Jordan headed out, Magic stayed behind. He picked up the office phone and dialed. "Cynthia?" "Yeah. I need HR and operations down here by 4 p.m. today, and tell them to bring the employee files." Change was coming. Quiet at first, but loud enough that no one would cry alone in a locker room again. At 4:03 p.m., 3 people stepped into the restaurant's back office. Cynthia from HR, a regional operations manager named Marcus, and a legal advisor who didn't smile once. Magic sat at the head of the table, his large hands folded in front of him. The door closed with a dull click, sealing off the noise from the dining floor. Dante was already seated, trying not to squirm. Cynthia opened a manila folder. "We've received informal complaints regarding shift allocations, verbal misconduct, and unsafe work conditions in this location. We're conducting an internal review." Dante let out a forced chuckle. "This is all news to me. We run a tight ship here, sure, but nothing outside the line." Magic didn't blink. "Do you recall a conversation with Jordan about the leaking ice machine?" Dante waved a hand. "He exaggerates. That thing drips, yeah, but we mop it up. It's not serious." Not what he said. Magic's voice was low, calm. That was always worse. "We also have 3 anonymous notes placed in the suggestion box over the last 2 months, Cynthia said, sliding copies across the table. Each one mentioned feeling intimidated when bringing up concerns. "That could be anyone," Dante said, his voice rising. "And that's the problem," Marcus replied. "It could be anyone. That's a culture issue." Silence settled again. Outside, silverware clinked gently. Lunch service had given way to a slow mid-afternoon lull. Magic leaned back in his chair. "I opened this place for a reason," he said. "I grew up watching my mum work double shifts just to keep lights on. She cleaned schools, served food, swept gym floors. No benefits, no thanks. Just hours. This restaurant wasn't supposed to feel like that." Dante's eyes flicked to the legal rep, but the man gave no help. "I'm not firing you today," Magic continued. "But you're stepping away from floor operations, effective immediately." Dante's mouth dropped open. "What?" "You'll work with Marcus on systems only, scheduling, safety, inventory. No direct staff interaction until we've rebuilt trust." "That's completely final." Magic's tone didn't waver. Dante stared, jaw clenched, but he didn't fight. Not out loud. The meeting ended 15 minutes later. By 5 p.m., the floor was buzzing. Word spread fast. Maria caught Jordan by the drink station. "Did you hear they pulled Dante off the floor?" "I know," Jordan said. Magic was serious. Kenny, the dishwasher, peeked around the corner. "Yo, they say he's still in the building." Jordan smiled. "He's probably making sure we're still working hard." "Damn right we are," Maria said, tightening her apron. "Now maybe we'll actually get through a shift without walking on eggshells." In the break room, Terry quietly ate his rice and beans, not saying much. But when Jordan passed, he raised his hand for a high five. Jordan returned it, surprised. Later that night, Magic stood quietly in the back hallway, out of sight but within earshot. He listened to the new energy, lighter, quicker, more human. A staff meeting was scheduled for the next morning. Anonymous feedback now had a real process. Photos from the wall would be rotated monthly with new faces and stories. As he walked out the front door, he passed Jordan wiping down a table. "Headed out?" Jordan asked. "Yeah," Magic said, pausing. "You did more than you think." Jordan shrugged. "I just talked." "Exactly." The bell above the door jingled as Magic stepped into the night. The street smelled like rain again, clean and expectant. Back inside, someone turned up the music just a little louder. Not loud enough to drown anything out, but enough to feel like maybe things were finally changing. The next morning began differently. For the first time in months, staff arrived before their shifts, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. There was a buzz in the air, not nervous but electric. Maria brought extra conchas from the panaderia down the block. Kenny cleaned out the storage room without being asked. Even Terry cracked a joke while slicing lemons. At 9:15 a.m., the staff meeting began. Magic stood at the center of the dining room. No mic, no fanfare. Just him, surrounded by every host, cook, server, and runner in the building. He didn't stand on a platform or raise his voice. He just spoke. "I'm not here to make speeches," he said. "I'm here because this place is supposed to be better than most, and it can't be better unless you feel like you belong." He looked around the room, meeting eyes, not glancing past them. "I've played in front of millions, but I never felt more seen than when I was 14, and the guy at the lunch counter knew my name." A few people chuckled softly. Jordan in the back stood straighter. "We're going to start something today. Every week we'll rotate team leads. Doesn't matter what your title is. Everyone's going to take turns leading pre-shift meetings. Everyone's voice is going to be heard." Murmurs moved through the room. This wasn't just words. It was a shift. "Second," he continued, "every Friday, we'll highlight one of your stories. Not mine, not some celebrity. Yours. How you got here, what keeps you going?" Maria raised her hand. "Even if our stories aren't fancy?" "Especially if they're not," Magic said, smiling. He looked toward Jordan. "Jordan, mind sticking around after?" Jordan nodded, heart thudding. After the room cleared, Jordan followed Magic to the table by the window, the same one where celebrities usually sat. It felt surreal. "I want you to be our first Friday story," Magic said. Jordan froze. "Me? You're the reason this place cracked open," Magic said. "People need to see that." Jordan's throat tightened. "I don't know what to say." "Then start with the truth." They sat for over an hour. Jordan spoke about growing up in Inglewood, taking the 1:15 bus to school every day, learning to hustle at 16 because his mum's second job didn't pay enough. He talked about applying here because the sign looked welcoming, and staying because, even through the stress, he believed in the people. Magic listened, took notes, nodded. When they were done, he handed Jordan a plain card. "This is my direct number. If you ever see something broken again, call me. You don't need to go through anyone else." Jordan stared at the card like it might vanish. "Thank you. You earned it." That night, Magic didn't stay long. Just a short stop to see the dinner shift. When he stepped outside, a group of high school kids on the sidewalk recognized him. One shouted, "Yo, Magic! You still got the hook shot?" Magic laughed, lifted an imaginary ball and pantomimed the motion. The kids cheered and he grinned. But even as he smiled, his mind was still inside, still with Jordan, with Maria, with the people who held the place together, not with highlights, not with fame, with sweat and hope. Inside, Jordan took a deep breath and called his mom. "Ma," he said, "I think things might finally be turning around." The following Friday, the dining room was packed. Families, couples, business people, tourists, they filled every table, sipping iced teas and savoring signature dishes under soft evening light. At 6 p.m. sharp, the music dimmed slightly. Maria stood near the hostess stand holding a mic. "Good evening, everyone," she said, voice shaking slightly. "Before we bring out dessert, we want to share something new we've started here. Every week, one of our own tells their story. Not to impress, but to connect. Tonight, we begin with someone many of you have seen, but maybe never really known." The room quieted. Jordan stepped up. He looked nervous, but not afraid. "My name's Jordan," he began, "and I'm a server here. You've probably seen me rushing between tables or refilling water, but this job isn't just something I do. It helped me survive when I thought I couldn't anymore." He paused. The room leaned in. 2 weeks ago, I broke down in the back room. I thought no one saw me, but someone did, and that moment changed everything. He told them about his mom, the eviction, the check that didn't stretch, the nights he ate cereal so she could have a real dinner. He told them about being scared, scared to ask for help, scared to look weak, scared he'd always feel invisible. Then he told them about the man who walked in and didn't look past him. Magic stood near the back, arms crossed, eyes glassy. "He told me something simple," Jordan said, "that I mattered, that this place could be mine too. And now I get to stand here not just as someone who serves you, but as someone who belongs." Silence, then a wave of applause, not polite, not obligatory, real. Jordan stepped down, face flushed, heart pounding. Maria hugged him. Terry clapped him on the back. Even Kenny gave a rare smile. After the dinner rush ended, Magic sat at a booth alone, sipping tea. The lights were dimming, chairs going up. Jordan approached. "You didn't have to stay," he said. "I wanted to," Magic replied. "You made people feel something tonight." Jordan smiled. "It felt bigger than me." "It was bigger than you," Magic said. "That's what stories do. They outlive us." He stood and placed a small envelope on the table. "This is for your mom. It won't fix everything, but it's a start." Jordan opened it to see a check, $5,000. His breath caught. "I can't. You don't owe me anything," Magic said. "Just keep showing up, for yourself, for her." The two shook hands, no cameras, no flash, just a moment between two men who understood the weight of struggle. Outside, Magic took one last look through the glass. The lights inside glowed warm, golden. He saw laughter, shoulders relaxed, people moving without fear, and Jordan wiping down his section with a calm he hadn't had before. Magic turned down the street, fading into the city. He didn't need a name on a wall or a plaque on the door. What mattered was already in motion, because sometimes the biggest legacy isn't what you build, it's what you leave better than you found it. If this story meant something to you, hit subscribe and click the video on your screen. YouTube picked it just for you and you're going to love it.